Unbridled Joy Therapeutic Equestrian Center in 2015. Basically, I've been away from horses a while. I had, a lot of horse experience, and we were lucky enough to find a short sale farm, and I was very patient. I waited a year before I looked at a horse, but I checked out a rescue. I wanted to rescue horses, and unfortunately I found the Cruella DeVille of rescues. I thought they would check me out, and then I didn't really think to check horses out from a rescue, so I ended up with one just really neglected horse who had just lost her foal before I got her. She was very angry, kind of a bully, and then the other one, Velvet,
able to go in your wash machine?
That had never been treated, that resulted in lymphedema. Her leg would just swell up and go down. So I was just I'm happy with them as pasture ornaments, and content with that. And then I had that visit from Kristen and my friend Christy, and Velvet was really intimidated by people. She's a real big 1,600-pound Shire cross. They're similar to tails. And people would come up, her little lips would quiver and her eyelashes would flutter, and she was just afraid of people, but she was getting acclimated. So I just asked them, they were going to come visit. I'm like, just be calm around Velvet, and just be aware of that. And of course, Kristen just looked at life with everything boisterous. She just went and grabbed her head and almost gasped. And my horse acted completely different with her. It was like she just saw her energy from the inside. I actually have a photo of that moment with their foreheads together, and it just made my heart expand. So I started looking into equine therapy. I'm like, maybe she can have a job, and that was really cool what I just saw. So I started learning, especially with rescue horses that have experienced trauma and that are hyper vigilant. Usually with children with trauma, we work with the Boys and Girls Club and Team Up near Monroe. There's something that they recognize together, just this unspoken language, and they just see each other from the inside, and somehow that communication is a lot easier than with humans, where they have to worry about their environment. And then we explored some of that. I got the mini horses. We took them to places like the Twin Lakes Community Center out there near Monroe, and it's almost like I just facilitate the meeting, and the horses do the magic. I just sit back and watch, and pretend like I'm doing something. But we also will have sessions. It's called equine assisted psychotherapy, where we do work with a mental health professional, and we'll have a goal of whatever that person is working with. A lot of times they've been 2 years in an office, and then they go in the barn and they're there 2 hours and have a breakthrough, and it's really magical. So they'll set a general goal, and we just may start something with the horsemanship thingy, but we always just try to be open to, if we see that therapeutic moment, just to let that happen and just go with that. So later on, as our program grew, I met Dennis Walters. He was raising money for the Veterans Memorial out near Monroe, and we just talked about riding, and I'm like, yeah, come out and ride. And he just amazed me, coming out. He inspired us to build a ramp to come ride, and we went on some trail rides, and then began collaborating with the Georgia Equine Rescue League. So our hope is, now that we have this beautiful property, hopefully the potential to do something in honor of Mr. Petrie and help veterans, continue with the riding program, a way that we can do therapy, with the veterans. A lot of times it entails more like a working volunteer. A lot of times veterans want to be a part of something. They're used to helping other people and being the heroes. So just them helping us with a lot of these rescue horses from the Georgia Equine Rescue League to make them more adoptable. The process of that relationship with that horse, a lot of times is therapy in itself without actually calling it therapy. But we're just kind of at this jumping point. We're honored to be, partnering hopefully with the Petries, and we're just waiting to have a plan. It was an old chicken farm, to have beautiful trails, pastures, to just have this center in the area where we can do everything to help veterans. It's not exclusively for veterans, but that ranch, we definitely want to do something in honor of Mr. Petrie, because he was, did a lot for veterans. So, and I don't know if I should have questions, or I'd like to introduce Dennis Walters as well. He's our veterans advocate. So I don't know, does anyone have any questions about anything? Yeah.
So I have a question about you mentioned, you work with the Boys and Girls Club in Monroe. I'm a volunteer for CASA, and one of the therapies we've talked about with my CASA kids is potentially getting them out with some kind of equestrian therapy. It gets a little tricky because this child's technically not in foster care, so DFACS is not covering those expenses, and they're with essentially their next of kin who does not have the funding for it. So I was wondering if you guys have some kind of scholarship or volunteer program where a child could essentially earn their hours with the horses to spend time with them that way.
Yeah, we would definitely be open to that. I don't turn anybody away that does not have the funding for. We never charge veterans for services, so definitely we would be able to do that. So I feel like it'll come in another way. We do reach out for grants, and through foundations to fundraise for that. So that I would definitely be open to that.
So you guys just started, like insofar as the therapy aspect of it? Or
No,
started?
we started in 2015, but really last year we were really getting going. Of course we didn't know we had the opportunity in Barrow County yet. So we were meeting with Team Up, the Boys and Girls Club in Monroe, and then COVID hit and everything just shut down. So now people are getting a little more able to get out, and we're outside, and we try to be safe with everything. So now we just want to reach out but it did change. My little farm is just 6 acres, so to have 100 acres, 200 acres as opposed to 6, mostly what I did before was just groundwork with the horses and sessions and using the horse as that third partner in the therapy. But now that we can expand hopefully to riding, there's actually therapeutic driving, there's therapeutic vaulting, PATH has all these different programs. So the sky's the limit.
So I don't know if our president-elect is interested in this, but next year I think it'd be cool for like an off-campus meeting if we went there. Let me ask our president-elect. Hey, Madison.
What's wrong with this year?
Yeah.
Are you?
Okay.
Yeah, I've overruled you. Julia.
I know we've got May 20th available.
Yeah. Now,
We'll work on it. If it's not soon, it'll be later, but this is something we'll come back to.
And what's the timeline for this property in Bethlehem?
we're actually, like Ellen's actually part of it. We're just waiting for the estate to be settled all together and make sure we're all going through with the same mission. I know the way I met them, the president of the Georgia Equine Rescue League is actually a neighbor adjacent and has known the Petries for years. So when I just mentioned that and we were looking for a larger estate, she had a vision, and we've just kind of gotten together, and my horses are over there. They're allowing me to eat that great grass, not me, the horses at the property now. So yeah, but we could at my house, I'm just 4 miles away. I'm just right over into Walton County, but we could definitely do something there if you guys are open to it, just to start reaching out and putting the word out and get a sense of community. And that's where Dennis comes in a lot too, is just to show us the needs of what the veteran community is asking for. But yeah.
So once everything's up and running, I guess you'll have to hire staff to help, like, maintain the horses. And do you think that's going to be more of a volunteer type of role?
Well, a lot we can do. I have another certified PATH instructor with me. So probably our first goal, we wanted to definitely fund, if the Petries are kind enough to allow, they're letting us use the property. We wanted to repurpose. There's 3 chicken houses there, so we wanted to repurpose a lot to where it wouldn't cost anything. A lot we can use to build a barn when we were going to convert to a barn, and then maybe the metal and stuff repurposed. So probably the first big thing would be a volunteer day to just do that kind of work. And we've reached out to the Legion, American Legion in Statham and here. So I think we would have a lot of volunteers and to feed some barbecue or pizza or with country bull and just have a community get together and start that way.
I have 2 nieces that are really involved in riding and like compete nationally, barrel racing and all that kind of stuff. And I think, and they're really connected to the horse world.
Yeah.
I think that I think it'd be good for them to like come out and volunteer and do stuff with these horses. They have their own horses and stuff. I think it's a good.
Definitely use them now if they want to come out. Yeah, I have, well then I'm trying to count how many I have together, the 5, let's see. Yeah, I have like 20, so well, including the minis, you know, so just to get everyone individual attention every day and exercise, if they wanted to come work with the horses, I can always use experienced people, and then they can help the volunteers, you know, that don't have any experience, come out and just do the grooming. I'm lucky I don't have a lot of stalls to clean, so it's mostly the fun stuff interactive with horses, the donkeys, so.
I was just fascinated by the China doll story here. Can you talk about that for a second?
Oh, actually, that is an older story. Let's see. I don't know. Can I move over this way? It describes. Yeah, now this was before I got involved with the Rescue League. But yeah, it's amazing. There are so many horses that just, most of them, I don't think most people intend to, you know, like abuse a horse. It usually comes from neglect, just from not knowing what it takes, you know. And then when the economy kind of failed, in like 2008, horses became really inexpensive. So a lot of people acquired horses that just thought, oh, wow, I can get a horse, but they don't know how much land they need or the farrier care. So with the Georgia Department of Ag or Animal Control, and they filled in the spot to rehab the horse and get it more adoptable and to find a home for her. But yeah, I think she ended up being, yeah, with the trust issues, she's like, yeah, the jumping champion. I'm sorry, I should have
Amazing from the pickup day to all of a sudden she's a jumping champion.
Yeah, we actually just had another one named Annie Oakley that came through that was in and out a little bit, and a young girl just fell in love, wanted to adopt her. Her mom came and looked out, and she's like, it's a little too much horse. The girl was heartbroken, and she kind of went to a family and came back. And she just adopted her like 4 months ago, and she's like reserve champion in her level with jumping. So there's so much potential. It's like when the horses come through though, they're kind of a mystery. You don't really know what they've been through and what to work out. So it takes a little while to evaluate them and see how to heal those old wounds and build a new relationship with trust. But I feel like they're very appreciative, and they know what we're doing for them. So you can usually end up with a really great companion through there.
So over there, I see something that's usually associated with me. It said China was a BS of 2. What is that?
A BS of 2? I don't know what that means. A BS of 2.
Just me? Okay.
Yeah, I should have read that a little better. This I'm thinking she probably came in with another horse.
Gotcha.
But BS.
Hey,
Oh, I'm sorry. I know exactly what it is. It's a body score of 2. When you said that, you threw me off. Yeah, horses will come if they're starving, you know.
Yeah.
They have a body score of 1 to 10, and so they will rate them, you know, between 1 to 10. If they're obese, they could be like 8.
This is another
Like I was
challenge I
trying to
have
see my
in
perch run out there. But yeah, a body score of 2 is really, ribs are probably showing, you know, hip bones showing. 1 is getting really dangerous, like they could get organ failure and things like that. So when she came as a body score of 2, she needed a lot of nutritional rehab before anybody getting to work with her as far as training and everything.
Excellent. Does anybody else have any questions for our speakers today?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind if Dennis could say a couple words.
Yeah, absolutely, Dennis.
If you have a minute.
Oh, sure.
Agent Orange in the war, put me in a wheelchair. Let me take this off. Real quick, like our trainer just made 3rd place with one of the rescue horses that come through our facility, and it was quartered. And the Georgia International Horse Park just put on a fair, and she placed 3rd there. So we took them from rib showing, and she had a little scar, and you know, back was dropped, and now she's 3rd place, and she got adopted that day. As soon as it was over, she got adopted. So we do a lot as far as horse equine therapy at veterans, as well as rehab, rehome the horses, so that we don't have one out there. You walk by and you see something out in the pasture about ready to die. Call, somebody will pick it up, and then we'll eventually get, if it's not too late. I ride, so this is what equine therapy does, or can do. PTSD is a big one, and I really can't say enough about the veterans coming out. And when I met Miss Cindy, she just, it was kind of like she fell in love with me. And vice versa, she was writing a check for hay, actually. And I was begging for money on the street corner for the memorial. So I was all dressed up in my uniform, which I still wear. And I said, you ride? Yes, I'll ride. So that's how we got it done a few years back. But the veterans program is near and dear to my heart, and not everybody will come out and ride. I mean, we have, the program, groundwork first. A horse has character, just like anybody else. It has mentality to where, it may click with you, and if it doesn't, then we find you another. So there's all kinds of realms that you have to take into consideration. You just don't come out there and put somebody on a horse, especially the kids. But we have 2, 3 that just, probably 2 or 3 you can get on because they're so gentle, but, and they're massive. I have to climb up out of my chair onto the tailgate of the truck and then roll over until I get on the wheel well, and then up over the side to get on Manny. Manny is the big one. He's 22 hands.
That he's about 18.
He's like this. I can look at him like this. So I have to kind of get on, use the little step stool we have doesn't work. But yeah, so it just goes to show you that, if you have a mindset, or even, you don't have to be a veteran, but veterans normally have more problems than coming back from war. So we really want to thank you for your time, first of all, and then if you come out and see us, we'll be glad to show you how to work with a horse, and start with, playing the hooves, all the way down the line to the curry comb. They like, you comb your hair, they like their hair combed too. So, and then we'll show you how to tack one up, and then maybe go for a little stretch across the pasture. So anyway, thank you for your time, and I appreciate it very much.